go to the hotline, and let's go southeast to Nederland, Texas, to talk to the head coach of your Nederland Bulldogs. It is Coach Monte Barrow. Coach, how are you?
I'm good. How y'all doing?
Excellent. How are things in beautiful Nederland, Texas?
Well, it's sunny right now, so everything's good on spring break.
Yeah, that's not bad. So I want to know from a coaching perspective, and I guess, you are an educator, I guess. What, spring break is something you look forward to every year, right? I know you got a lot to do, but at your core, you're like, spring break.
No doubt. You never get too old for spring break. I promise you that.
Yeah, I wish I had spring break. All right, so your first year at Nederland as the head coach. You've been there forever, though. But your first year at Nederland as head coach has come and gone. You guys end up going 8-3, making the playoffs. I want to know. You've been at Nederland for a long time assistant under Coach Larry Newman before you get the promotion to the head coaching job. What did you learn in your first year as a head coach that you think you're going to take with you into 2018?
Well, what I learned is what we're using a lot of in our all season this year is nothing is set in stone. Especially the way this season started with a hurricane and all that stuff. So, you prepare for things that you have set up, but always be ready for the unexpected. We try to put our kids in all season in situations that, may come up, may not, but you got to be able to perform and react the right way in those situations. And that's what happens in a football season and in a football game. So, hopefully we can cover a lot of that ground during the off season.
You brought up Hurricane Harvey, and of course, for folks who don't know, you guys were hit by significant flooding there in Nederland. Your first week game against West Orange Stark was canceled. I think that because Texas is such a huge state and there's so much going on in everybody's lives, I think it's easy to forget that the recovery efforts are still going on. I'm interested in hearing how the recovery effort is going down there, and then also, how do you feel like that entire ordeal affected your team?
Well, as far as the recovery efforts now, like you said, it's still going on. It's I think maybe not to say a sad thing, but just sometimes you may forget that there's still people dealing with the after effects of that. We have guys that have played for us that are still, trying to get their houses in order. Coaches that are still trying to get their houses in order. That's a big thing. So they're still dealing with that on top of everything else that goes on in their daily lives. Our team, I think, it brought us closer together. Not unlike a lot of teams around here. It's kind of a cliche, but we were fortunate in the type of kids we had that I was very proud of the fact that we were out helping people with recovery efforts, and as a team and groups that kids together that maybe didn't have damage to their homes out helping other people. And that was, a great thing to see. And, just brought us closer together as a team.
Obviously the regular season started with tragedy, but the regular season ended with exultation. 36-35 win over arch rival Port Neches Groves. Blazin Fernandez throws a touchdown pass to Kevon Latulis with 13
Matt Stepp was in the house.
With 13 seconds left. Matt Stepp saw it. And then, more importantly, you go for two. And you get it. Fernandez finds Colton Beeson for the game. What ends up being the game-winning 2-point conversion with 13 seconds left. Was there ever a doubt in your mind you were going for two? And when did you come up with that decision to go for the win?
Honestly, after they scored to take the lead, they kicked off. We meet before we go out to the field, because we rarely huddle anyway. We kind of huddle on the side before the first play. And in that huddle right there, we talked about, hey, when we go down and score, don't come off the field. We're going to go for two. So everybody knew it then. And people say, oh, was this decision, that decision? The decision was easy when you look across the field and saw who was quarterbacking for them. Mm-hmm. Rashawn Johnson, a great player, and they have him back. But any chance we had to not put the ball back in his hands, we were going to take. So, and it's one of those plays we practice every week. our 2-point plays that fortunately for us, we had 2 different times in that game we used 2-point plays, and the first one actually helped set the second one up. Wasn't planned that way, but just we flipped it to Kevon Latulis on a reverse the first 2-point play, and then he's the guy that's faking a reverse on the second 2-point play. So it kind of set up for the end of that game.
It was one of the games of the year and one of the plays of the year. We're talking Monte Barrow, the head coach of the Nederland Bulldogs here on Texas Football Today. Get involved in the conversation, #TF Today. So Coach, let's look forward to 2018. I know spring ball is about to get going. Offensively, you guys are bringing back 6 starters. Where do you think right now, obviously it's March 13th, and you said nothing's set in stone, but when you look at your squad right now, where do you think the strength of your team is going to be offensively?
Our offensive line. We have 4 out of 5 guys back there. They came a long way from the beginning of last year to the end of the season. We were excited about where they were, and just going into the off season, kind of targeted them as the strength of our offense and maybe of our team, and we're going to rely on them a lot this coming season.
And on the other side of the ball, defensively, you have the great pleasure of bringing back a guy in Noah Lewis, who has been so good for you guys. 8 interceptions last year. You mentioned that he played corner as a sophomore, safety as a junior, and you're going to add some wide receiver duties to him this year. As the guy who gets to see him every day in practice, what is it about Noah Lewis that sets him apart?
Well, his length as a player helps him on the defensive side of the ball, and his reaction time and being able to read quarterbacks. And then offensively, he's really a good receiver that we were fortunate in what we found last year in Kevon Latulis that he exceeded all our expectations, so we didn't have to use him or Landon Hiltz as much on the offensive side of the ball, but both those guys are capable offensive players, and we'll use both of those guys. Each of those guys had 8 interceptions last year, and usually they put guys on defense that don't have hands. So obviously those guys had hands with 16 interceptions between them, and we'll use them offensively.
Realignment, of course, was the big talk, and it still remains the big talk around the state. You guys get slotted into District 12, 5A, Division 2. I'm not sure who you made mad at the UIL, but that's another story. You stay in with kind of teams that you're used to facing, but then you get the addition of teams like Barbers Hill and Crosby into your district. Overall, you look at District 12, 5A, Division 2. What's your feel for this district?
Well, I think it got tougher. Not that the teams we lost were down by any stretch of imagination. I mean, Poor House Memorial, Central, Ozan, year to year, you're just not sure. But we lost some good teams, but we got some teams that we see in the first round of the playoffs possibly for the last, 10, 12 years. Now they're in our district. So, we're all familiar with each other. We'll get a lot more familiar with each other. I think you do that when you're in a district versus waiting until the end of the season to see if that's who your playoff opponent is. And then I think the travel part of that will make a difference as well. When you throw Santa Fe in, who's, the other side of Houston, trying to get there on a Friday evening could be a task in itself.
Yeah, it sure could. You guys might want to buy a helicopter. I know you're a busy man, and I want you to get back to your spring break, but I got to ask you. You and your wife Amber have 2 sons. Seth, of course, is. I know he's 23, so I can say this. He doesn't buy beer in Nederland. He star receiver, of course, caught game-winning touchdown pass against Pearland Dawson in the playoffs. That was, of course, such a huge win. But you got another son in Reeve, who's 13, and I know everyone in Bulldog country wants to know, we got another Barrow boy coming up that's going to be changing the game?
Well, hopefully he's blazing his own trail, and whatever that may be. It seems with him it's something different every year, So this was his first year of school ball in 7th grade, and he enjoyed that. But when basketball season rolls around, he loves that. Now he's playing soccer, traveling to Houston every weekend. So, and that's good. Not only with him, but with all our athletes here at the school. We promote multi-sport kids and want them to get all they can get.
We were all 13-year-olds obsessed with playing whatever was put in front of us
exactly.
at some point. So I know it well. He is Monte Barrow. He's the head coach of the Nederland Bulldogs. Coach, really appreciate your time. Congratulations on a fantastic first year. Enjoy the rest of your spring break and best of luck down the road.
Thank y'all. Thank y'all for having me.
There he goes, Monte Barrow, head coach, Nederland Bulldogs. Seth's a legend down there, man.
Yeah.
That touchdown catch, because Dawson might have been number 1. Like they were super highly ranked.
Right.
I want to make sure I got that right. But that was a
big moment.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That was a huge moment for them, and it was Parolin Dawson in 2012, big playoff victory, and that was a huge moment for them. And so, he is a guy that got the promotion when Larry Newman retired after a long career there for the Bulldogs, a long time offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
Gets the move over to there, and that is a change. I think people maybe underestimate how big of a shift that is to go from being even an offensive coordinator in charge of the entire offense, but you're basically like more than doubling your workload. And so it's a fantastic first year for Coach Monte Barrow and Nederland. Excited to see what they do in 2018. Appreciate his time.
All you have to do is beat P&G, man.
Beat P&G, go 1-9, beat P&G.
Beat P&G, and
you're a legend.
the good times keep rolling.
Keep rolling.